T-minus 1 minute. T-minus 50 seconds. T-minus 40 seconds. T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Own it, own it, own it, Kong. I own it. It did.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
That's right, you guys. Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. I am your host and your editor-in-chief here at Women's Wrestling Talk, Driune Santana, one half of the only dominating tag team in Women's Wrestling Talk history. But of course, I got my girl, Queen Stephanie Hardy in the building. What's going on, Stephanie? Happy Friday to you guys. 1 week away from Thanksgiving for those who celebrate. I am foaming at the mouth of all of the food that I cannot wait to eat. I will say that. How are you doing, Stephanie?
I'm doing all right. Just trying to push through and, get through the rest of this year without, ripping heads off and ripping my hair out and all the things and stuff like that. Yeah, but in the end, in the midst of it all, we still have wrestling, and I'm just happy to be here with you at this point. So yeah,
holiday cheer. But yeah, I mean, we had a lot of things that transpired on both shows tonight. Of course, we do know, well, there was a lot of wrestling that happened tonight. Of course, we had SmackDown, we had Rampage, and of course, we had Impact's Overdrive, which I was handling 2-3 shows at the same time, just watching. So yeah,
oh man,
there's a lot happening. And then of course, tomorrow is Full Gear, one of the biggest pay-per-views for AEW itself. So I mean, it's a lot. We already know we're gonna be in next Sunday or next week getting through AEW show, because they like to throw on 1,000 shows or matches into one card, and it's just crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yes, well, today is Sam's birthday. Everyone,
happy birthday!
One of our writers. Hero wasn't on SmackDown the Audacity, but the Audacity was last year when they released him on your birthday. So happy 1 year of Hero being released on Sam's birthday.
But here's the thing, though, Sammy, they did do a little bit of a cypher rap thing, as a diss track towards the Viking Raiders and Legado del Fantasma on social media, like on TikTok. So if you find it there on AJ Francis's top dollars, social media, you can get your daily dose of Hit Row that you didn't get on SmackDown tonight. So you can get it.
Yes, Rampage will be on at 4 p.m. because of hockey, but I will also be at work. Well, no, I won't. I'll actually be at home.
Yeah, I won't be at work either.
Yeah, that's I get 2 days off, so
yay!
I know that's right. Yes, everybody's sending your birthday wishes to Sam.
Yeah,
that wasn't the same. I see that was a waste. What a waste. Well,
I didn't think it was a waste. I thought it was pretty good for the most part.
I don't care about him, so. Sam, however you feel about Hero, I feel the same. It was a waste.
Yeah, and then on top of that, with it not only just being his birthday, today is also the 10th anniversary of the formation of the Shield.
It is. And so, Sam, you had a lot of things happen on your birthday.
Yeah.
One of the biggest factions and WWE history, modern day era, where the Shield was born, and all of them individually have gone on to do some amazing things.
Yeah, so happy birthday, Sam, and happy Shield anniversary. 10 years. I cannot believe it, but Jesus Christ.
Crazy.
We're getting old.
Y'all are. I'm
I
But
turn 30 next year, so
well, I got a minute before I get 30, but
Oh God, I can't wait. It's gonna be great.
I mean, hey, listen, you
It's gonna
celebrate
be
your
great.
last of your 20s, and listen, I heard when you hit 30, it hits different.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. But honestly, I'm just happy because I'm happy with every age, if I'm being honest. Every age is just another chance, another year to live and see everything. So I mean, it's great for me. It's like I don't ever feel like, oh my God, we're gonna reach my 30s. That's not me. Like 30 next year is gonna be like a whole different vibe. Like it's gonna be lit. Like I'm excited. Like boom, adulthood
Uh,
2.0.
oh God. All right, let's go ahead and jump into SmackDown, of course. We started the show off with the Brawling Brutes. Happy to see Sheamus back. Pete/Butch and Ridge Hollins out there. Of course, Drew McIntyre, their member that's going to be joining them for WarGames, came out as well. They all discussed, WarGames. Of course, WarGames is happening next Saturday. And, I guess some people weren't feeling a little broody, whatever they try to come up with of a word and everything like that. But someone who is the king of feeling oozy, Sami Zayn, does come out and he talks about, of course, the WarGames and how they're going to beat them, and they don't actually have a partner, and how Sami was going to beat Pete/Butch in the World Cup tournament later on tonight, that main event of the show. And I mean, it seemed as if like Sami is being really much of the spokesperson for the bloodline, to be exact. I mean, that's what it seems like. Sami, he always finds his way to be involved, even when the bloodline is not involved. Like the bloodline is back there chilling, and Sam is out here speaking on behalf of them. It's like he's a new Paul Heyman. Normally Paul Heyman would come out here and probably do a lot of talking. But now that they have Sami, Paul Heyman doesn't really have to do much. He doesn't.
Yeah, that's different. I've never really thought of it that way, with Sami being the new Paul Heyman, in a sense, and being their spokesperson. It is kind of true. He's just kind of like that disciple, that uber faithful disciple, that's gonna, preach the gospel of the bloodline even when people don't ask him to. Like that's basically what he's doing, and that's just kind of how I feel from him. But ultimately, it's like he's like the deacon, and then Paul is like the main pastor.
Very much so. And it's
Yeah.
like when the pastor doesn't feel like getting up there, doing his, preaching and everything, he brings on the, the deacon or the guest pastor of the day, and they do a 30-minute sermon, and then you realize that the church is feeling the guest pastor more than you. So
Right.
you got to get rid of him.
Right.
You got to get rid of him because he's starting to make your church feel like they're alive and well and not sleeping when you talk. But not saying that Paul Heyman sleep make you, well, some people may feel like Paul Heyman make them sleep, but I be wide awake when the man say something. And so Sami, he's been doing his thing. But of course, we do know that come WarGames 1 week away, we will have the Brawling Brutes and Drew McIntyre with their fifth member, which we did learn tonight who that fifth member is, and it's very exciting. Against the entire bloodline. And I mean, this is something I would say that this, of course, is going to be our main event. This is something that's really looking forward to, because the only person that has WarGames experience is my man Pete Dunne.
Right.
He's the only one who has it experience. It's going to be really interesting seeing how all of these guys play a part. Yes, some of you may have been in Hell in Cells, you've been in steel cage matches, but you've never been inside of a WarGames before. 2 rings, like cage all around. There's so many elements of WarGames that I love so much, and it's gonna be quite interesting to see what really happens inside of that War Games come next Saturday. And I'm excited.
Me too.
I am. I really am. So, but as we move on within the show, of course, we're still here for our World Cup tournament that they're having, and whoever wins the entire tournament gets to face Gunther for his Intercontinental Championship. So we have Ricochet and we have Mustafa Ali, who honestly had a phenomenal match, to the point where I thought maybe Mustafa Ali would have possibly won this. I mean, it shades back to their match that they had in 2020. You know, I think that's been like the last time since we've seen these two face each other was back in 2020 during the pandemic, you know, virtual Thunderdome era. And now we see them wrestle again in person, all the crowds around, and they put on a phenomenal match. But of course, Ricochet ended up taking home the victory. And of course, as they always do, you got to give props to your bro, because I mean, Mustafa did the best that he could. There was a lot of great moments between these guys. And were you expecting Ricochet to go to like win this, like go over? You know, because this is kind of considered to be a SmackDown tournament in a way. And Mustafa was like a Raw superstar. But it would have been quite interesting to see a Raw superstar go over a SmackDown superstar when this is really like SmackDown base, you know.
Yeah, it was kind of different for me seeing this because I thought for sure that even though Mustafa was kind of in this program with Bobby Lashley and Seth Rollins, a part of me did think it was interesting when they did announce that he was going to be facing off against Ricochet. This match was stellar and I could watch them fight all day. That's really how I feel. And I really was rooting for Mustafa to win because I just want him to win more. Like, I just feel like for somebody who's so gifted, he just loses so much. And it's just kind of like, Mustafa, like, when are we going to pull the trigger on him and really understand that this man really has what it takes? Like, he has a personality, he has the athleticism. Like, give him the ball and let him run with it, right? But then again, you have Ricochet, you know, who feels like he has a bone to pick with Gunther in the first place. So he wants to do whatever he can to sort of requalify for that IC title, because as it stands, him winning that IC title was a new lease on life that he got earlier in the year. So he wants that, you know, old thing back. But I really was rooting for Mustafa to win, because if it's anybody who really needs the win a whole lot more, it's definitely him, because he's been putting in the work, like, and I'm just tired of watching him lose. Plus, I want to know who does his hair backstage.
That is a very good question, because whoever's been doing Mustafa Ali's like braids,
it's gorgeous.
It's like
top tier.
It's like my braids under this wig. Ricochet only won to punish Braun for his comments that his match with Omos was better than the flippy wrestlers, which is very true. Which we did see the interaction between them two later on within the show, which we'll definitely tap into in a few minutes. But let's go backstage in the locker room and see what the Bloodline is up to. Once again, Jay is being Jay, going at it with Sami, and of course, Sami is bringing the light of the mood once again by him and Jimmy doing their secret handshake, and Jay forcefully trying to not laugh at all the things that is happening right in front of me, even Solo. And I mean, it's been kind of quiet. I want to say we haven't really seen, because Sami has not been here, there's been a lot of really good things kind of happen with the Usos, you know? There hasn't been like any bickering. There hasn't been like any issues or nothing. Roman even gave really big kudos to them, you know, for officially going over the New Day. Now they're the longest reigning tag team champions, you know? And so, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I honestly feel like Sami is like, eventually with WarGames coming up, I feel like there's going to be a lot of things that's going to happen between Jay and Sami. There's going to be something happen within that WarGames match that's going to make me feel like, yeah, Jimmy might knock his ass out.
He might, and it might be, you know, a sign that maybe Sami Zayn could very well be the problem. because
Oh.
honestly, I almost felt like if Sami Zayn, because I had forgotten about this last Friday, but I felt like if Sami Zayn had came out during the tag team match and tried to assist with them in that match versus the New Day, I feel like somehow or another the Usos would have lost somehow.
They would have.
I really just feel like that. Like I really feel like the Usos would have lost, and then they would have been staring at Sammy like, "Bro, like you really ruined this for us." And then Jay would have had every reason to get in his behind.
Right.
But seeing as Sammy wasn't there and he wasn't there to make it all about him and stuff like that, even when the crowd was chanting, "We want Sammy" or whatever, the Usos were able to focus and get it done and not focus on any ratchet shenanigans. So, yeah, Sammy really might be the problem, but they just don't want to admit it yet.
I've been trying to tell y'all this man who is not a part of the bloodline is the problem.
Yeah.
You know, and we could pretty much see that. Justin said, yeah, that would be the place to start it with Elimination Chamber in his backyard in February. Yeah, that's very true. I will say. But speaking of the New Day, Xavier Woods cut his beard, and I really don't understand why.
I hate it.
I don't know what he's got going on here. I can see that the way that Kofi is looking at Xavier is how I'm looking at his beard. Like, bro, what did you do? Like, what did you do? Why did you got it?
I have very strong emotions about that.
What the hell is going on? But we're seeing an interaction between the New Day and Imperium, and obviously within this point, they challenged the New Day to a match, and of course, New Day, only being two of them right now, has to find a partner later on for their 6-man tag match, and we'll definitely get there. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm sick of that person, but here we are.
Wait, hold on. I'm team facial hair. I am team facial hair when it comes to grown men like that. Definitely team facial hair. There are just some men in life who just need facial hair to be, extremely attractive, and he's one of them, and Chris Evans is another. So
that is very true. Shout out to Chris Evans for being the sexiest man alive.
Yeah, shout out to People Magazine for making that choice. It was a good choice.
It was a very good choice because that man is fine. Man been fine all his life.
Yeah, outside of my boyfriend. That's a personal choice.
Speaking of boyfriends, Emma, of course, kayfabe world, we know that Tenille Dashwood and Madcap Moss, or whatever his real name is, they're dating in real life. But we're also seeing some couple things happening, which we really don't see that much of that often in WWE. But this is a nice, cute little interaction. She's really playing on the part of like trying to, show that she's interested in Moss, you know what I'm saying? And that she'll be like, watching his match tonight that he did have with Karrion Kross, to be exact. And Karrion Kross joins the lovely Scarlett, who always looks great every week. And obviously Scarlett, she always managed to find her way to be involved in Karrion Kross's matches. And which it led to the point where, Madcap Moss did end up losing the match because Karrion Kross did choke him out. And it seems as if like we're going to be going into a feud with Madcap Moss and Emma versus Karrion Kross and Scarlett. Maybe somewhere down the line, we will see Emma and Scarlett have a match inside of the ring. Everybody's seen Emma wrestle, whether it's back in NXT or when she faced Ronda Rousey. But in WWE wise, we haven't really seen Scarlett wrestle. You may have seen her wrestle on the Indies or in TNA / Impact and different things like that, but we haven't seen her wrestle in WWE wise. She may have wrestled a dark match. I'm unsure if that's very true or whatnot, but which I think she might have wrestled a dark match, but I can't really remember. But as far as like TV wise, we haven't really seen Scarlett be the one to do any type of wrestling in ring action type thing. So if it does lead to that, I don't mind it because it does give Emma something to do. Because at first I was just like, well, she's kind of lost in the shuffle. When I realized she wasn't a part of the 6-pack challenge that they had last week for a women's title opportunity to face Ronda Rousey at Survivor Series. Then I was just like, well, maybe they'll have Emma do something else or whatever. And well, she is doing something else, and I don't mind it. So, would you be interested in seeing like this couple versus couple thing between these 4 couples?
Yes. I say yes because I am just a sucker for couple things in wrestling. I love it when love in wrestling is just always shown and showcased in a different way. And I think this is cute in a sense that even though these two, it's like we know they're together in real life, it's like they're sort of playing into the idea that, in the kayfabe world, they're not together. So she's, aligning with him and flirting with him and everything. And it's cute. And if anybody's going to even up the odds, and if Madcap Moss is going to continue his feud with Karrion Kross, it's perfect. And somebody really does need to, even the odds up with Scarlett, because Scarlett is cagey. Mm-hmm. And Emma, just might be the person who can catch her and call her on her stuff and, have Madcap Moss's back. And I just love it. Like, it reminds me of when Naomi and Jimmy Uso were tagging together in the mixed match challenge and how cute that was.
It was so freaking cute.
I loved it.
Like, I was obsessed with them, like extremely, still to this day, obsessed with them, because I just think they're just everything, like just seeing them and everything like that. Girl, don't get me started. I live for black couples in WWE. I swear, like it's just something about like your Jimmys and your Naomis, your Biancas and Montez, like Bianca Montez. Like, if the mixed match challenge was still going on, Bianca and Montez versus Naomi and Jimmy,
that would eat.
Very much so. Like, but
we would eat and never starve again.
Let me tell you something. I'll be full for the next 30 years. I promise you that.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Would it technically be a black couple because Jimmy is?
No, that is a very good question. But
it's easy for us to claim them, though. It is.
It is. Like,
I will say that they're easy to claim.
I'm like. His daddy. I don't know. I don't be looking at their dads. I don't know what their mom looks like. Not in my eyes. I've ever seen their mom before. I can't even say. But when I look at Rikishi, I look at a black Samoan.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but if you really don't know about, the island of Samoa, a person who doesn't really watch wrestling wouldn't really know the difference. Because my sister didn't know the difference for years. She thought Jimmy Uso was straight black. Mm-hmm. Like for years until I had to tell her, wait, no, they're not. And she was just like, what? But we'll claim them. We claim them.
Definitely. I tell you that much. They definitely, I don't care what. Yeah. As we move on into some very developing stories, Bray Wyatt, I mean, I don't even understand where the hell we are going right now. But LOL, they are paired. They are only paired on screen because they are in real life dating couple. Will this work out? It could work out. It sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But for right now, it probably is going to work out. What is not working out is the fact that LA Knight decided that he wanted to not slap him once, but gets out of the ring and he continues to provoke Bray Wyatt more, and then he slaps that man again. And it's just like, what have you done? Do you not see the look in his face right now? Me personally, I was scared to death. I was like, LA Knight, you better fucking run. You better run your ass out of here, because what have you awakened? You have triggered this man. I don't know what the next outcome is going to be, Mr. LA Knight, but I feel like I'm looking at a scene from like anime, and this is like looking at Death Note, looking at like Light to be exact, and I mean, I'm afraid. I don't even know what to say. Like, I don't even like. This is kind of like how my mother would probably look at me if I didn't like do something that she told me to do, or like you better start packing the bag because you're getting out of here tonight. I'm just saying, I am, and I'm just like I don't even know, but there's tension like boiling between LA Knight and the Bray Wyatt, and this is something a feud that I would have never thought I would have like wanted to see or would have enjoyed seeing, and I'm not mad at this happening. I think this is something that they said we're probably going to lead up to, like maybe officially announcing it for WarGames or something. We're like, what's for Survivor Series, like a Survivor Series match. I know we don't have that many Survivor Series matches. You know what I'm saying? But of course, the WarGames are going to take. Of course, the WarGame matches are going to take over it, right? But I don't know if they're going to add a match between LA Knight and Bray Wyatt, or if they're going to be like some kind of segment. But we later found out what happened to LA Knight. But go ahead.
Oh my God. The way you segued from LA Knight getting in his face to how his face looked, and then you said, "What have you done?" It was just so funny. The comedic timing, I love it. You're right. You're right though, because I never thought that somebody like LA Knight, who's just so flashy with you, would pick a fight with somebody like Bray Wyatt like this. But I am really intrigued by it. Like, I'm really intrigued by it. And then when he actually walked up to him and slapped him and then claimed, okay, fine, we're even. And then he slapped him again. I was just like
that was a 2-for-1 special. I'm like, this is not a bargain.
Exactly. Like, do you know what you've done, and do you know who this man is?
You are playing with your life. This man, and all this, the Wyatt Six is gonna come after you.
And then I knew he was in trouble when the screen was black behind LA Knight, and then the flash was on the screen. Like, when the logo pops up, I was like, yeah, LA Knight's gonna die.
They've marked that man.
It's over.
He's been marked, and he doesn't even know it. And I mean, even here, despite what's happening in front of us, Scarlett and Karrion Kross with the Usos, and Karrion making it very known that, when the time comes, he is going to come for Roman and his belts. But if you like kind of just block out all of this and you look right in between Karrion and Jay, Bray Wyatt is over there in the back. Like, I don't know. He looks like he's fussing at somebody. I don't know who it could be. But if you look back there in the back, Bray Wyatt is there. And well, yeah. That's all I can say. That's really all that's all I can say. That's all I can give you. I don't know what's transpiring, but there's I don't know if he's talking to himself or who he could be talking to. I have no other words to say. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know either, considering you zooming in on this picture is really the most I've seen of this, because I was paying so much attention to the Usos and Karrion, because the Usos were trying to recruit Karrion for Team Bloodline, and he was like, yeah, I'm not a follower. I'm not going to do this with y'all.
Right.
And he said, when the time comes, I'll meet up with Roman and I'll take both his belts and I'll do it alone. And I was just like, you'll do it alone, but yeah, you got Scarlett right there. So are you really alone, sir? But it's okay.
He is. Well, unless what's she gonna do? Purpose bam?
Yes. Or use magic powers. I mean, because Scarlett's got that juice.
Child, I don't know what she's gonna do. She gonna levitate or something. I don't know.
Yeah, she just might levitate. Shoot.
Girl, if Scarlett start levitating.
What you gonna do if Scarlett levitates?
I'm like, girl, what in the exorcism is going on here?
We have to plead the blood of Jesus.
Somebody need to throw holy water on her, I swear. I don't have time for this. Speaking of more women, since we're here on the topic, of course, last week, Shotzi did win the six-pack challenge to have an opportunity to face Ronda Rousey at Survivor Series. Well, she had a lot of things to say, and she spoke to Shayna, and Ronda was behind her, and Shayna ended up choking out Shotzi, and it leads to this match here. And Shotzi and Shayna had a really nice match. But someone came out to really even out the odds for her partner, which happens to be Raquel Rodriguez in a awesome, really cute ass bodysuit that I really need the information on. I added you, girl. I tweeted you, so we didn't figure it out. So I can give that to somebody. Give that to my tag partner because this says Nikki written all over it.
Yeah, it's super cute.
I like it. I think it's dope as hell. Like the whole look is. And Shotzi did end up picking up the win over Shayna Baszler, and it kind of gives her a little bit of a momentum going into Survivor Series to face Ronda Rousey. Yeah, I don't know, but shout out to Shotzi. She's been a little bit on the road, but damn, poor Shayna, man. Like I love Shayna a lot. I'm a big fan of Shayna, man. Every time I feel like they're about to give Shayna that push, they knock her ass right back down. Sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate that it happens that way.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I do feel like Shayna does have new life underneath her since her and Ronda have reconnected. It's almost like Ronda as the champion is sort of using Shayna, even though they are best friends. It's like she's sort of using Shayna as like the angry pit bull that she lets loose on people who are coming after her, and I think that's a really good role for her. But it is unfortunate when she is put in matches like these with her contenders, and then they wind up beating her for momentum, because Shayna, it's like Ronda says, like Shayna was a monster, and they alluded to it on commentary how she used to be a tag team champion and also one of the longest reigning NXT women's champions that they have ever had. So yeah, it's so weird to see her be so dominant in character, but then in ring it's just not correlating either. But I am happy that Shotzi is having this moment, whether she does win or lose against Ronda. It's still going to be a good look for her because Shotzi does deserve that opportunity. So it's going to be cool regardless.
Welcome to the ball pit. You're going to get your ass kicked. Speaking of ass kicking, so LA Knight, we run back into LA Knight, and yeah. And well,
he's dead. Somebody get the body.
Oh, pull out the white chalk. I just I really don't even know what to say, but basically, the more you fuck around, the more you find out. And this is exactly what happens when you continue to fuck around LA Knight and you slapping that man twice, you found out. Okay? Like, it's just wow. This adds more to the story. I mean, it felt like they just laid him out and just threw all types of things on that man. Everything from chairs, humps that you go over for construction, a box, a suitcase. Honestly, it felt like this was like something that you found in the back of the garage, like a tool section of Home Depot, and we just gonna throw all this on you. And yeah. More of this story will develop on the condition of LA Knight. I guess we'll find out next week what happened, and maybe there's some cameras showing what happened, or maybe we'll find out who may have done this, or maybe LA Knight did it to himself. Maybe, I don't know. And it's a lot of stuff to try to put on yourself, but you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how you do all that to yourself because it looked like he had it almost looked like he had a car accident, but then the car took on, life and then threw him into, a bunch of debris. Like he looked like he got caught underneath tornado.
Very much so.
Like he looked like he got caught in underneath tornado debris and he's not waking up anytime soon.
Absolutely not. Yeah, I mean, it feels as if like it's bound to happen for LA Knight and Bray Wyatt to be happening at Survivor Series, which I'm not mad at. I'm actually not mad at it. What I am mad at is, well, not this year. I'm cool with this. This is what I'm gonna always be mad at because I am not the biggest Braun Strowman fan, by no means. I'm not a fan at all whatsoever, and I just feel like, well, because he doesn't really have much to do. And I guess the new day can't really call on anybody else to do things and everything like that, so they gotta call on Braun Strowman. And what really made me upset about this whole match is how y'all try to downplay Gunther by having him run away from Braun Strowman. Are you joking me? Y'all literally have, since Gunther has came up to the main roster, y'all have made this man be like dominating. He's not scared of nobody, but you got him running from Braun Strowman. Are you joking me right now? Like, y'all had this man running around the ring from Braun Strowman. And even the chops that he gave him, y'all was making it seem like it wasn't even phasing that man.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hold you. That did make me feel some type of way. Because it's just like, even though I understand Braun Strowman is the monster, like it says on his t-shirt, it's just like Gunther is a monster too. Like, we're not going to sit here and pretend like this man wasn't just knocking people's heads clean off and knocking people's chests like in NXT UK. Like, y'all ain't finna do this, because the reason why he is even in this World Cup is for him to face off against Gunther. So for him to have Gunther run around and run from him and then have him run through all of Imperium, which is kind of a weird choice for me. Like, why? Gunther is supposed to be this big bad that y'all trying to fight and get to. Why is the big bad running?
Exactly.
That makes no sense to me. That didn't make any sense to me at all. I was just like, so y'all just gonna make him look like he's scared.
I was so over it. You haven't seen no idea. But the New Day and Braun Strowman ended up winning their match here at Imperium. Imperium. Happy about that, but don't care about Braun Strowman. And well, as Braun was coughing up hacking during his interview with Kayla, Ricochet comes up and he basically says that basically what Joseph was talking about earlier in regards to Ricochet only wanted to punish Braun Strowman for his comments about his match that he had with Omos being better than the flippy shit and everything like that. So Walt Good would out wrestle Strowman for days. He really would, no lie. There's nothing you can take against Gunther, Walt, or whatever you want to call him. But Ricochet, he's gonna. It would be amazing to see Ricochet beat Braun Strowman. It really just all depends on how they choose to let this match go. That's all I'm gonna say. Because the way that they kind of portray Gunther to be afraid of Braun Strowman kind of has me feeling like, well, they're going to probably let Braun Strowman go over and win this whole tournament and beat Ricochet and everybody else. So, I don't know. I have absolutely no idea, but who knows what's transpired. But what we do know is that next week is the semifinals for the SmackDown the World Cup on Fox. Braun Strowman will be facing Ricochet. JD says they might put Ricochet over if the backstage heat rumors are true. I mean, a lot of the guys who are, from the, athletic side does all of the flips and acrobats and different things like that. The cool moves in the ring, a lot of them felt some type of way. You know, even Mustafa Ali was like, "Well, can I be fired now? Can I be let go now?" You know, but sit down, Miss Ali. I need you here. Okay, I do. But we do know that Braun Strowman will face Ricochet next week, and Stephanie and I will be here to talk about it. Whew.
Yeah, I have an issue with the fact that he felt the need to actually say that and throw shade at the people who do the flippy things, because you're making it seem like if you do all those stunts and everything that makes you less of a wrestler, and it does
And it
not.
doesn't, because that's
Like,
just
it does not, and that's not fair to your coworkers who actually operate, on that type of cruiserweight level, or who are heavyweights and can move at a cruiserweight level like that. That's not fair. That takes a lot of, guts to do. Like, that takes a lot of, athleticism and a lot of training to be able to do, and to be able to balance yourself on various ropes, and while still being able to do strikes and do kicks and and move out of holds and all of the above. So for him to say that was just kind of unnecessary.
It's stupid.
And honestly, like, if that's the case and if that's really how he feels, then I mean, he's obligated to his opinion, but then you're also obligated to understand that some opinions just don't need to be shared. So
Kept that. He could have just left it at like him and Omos having like a really, really, good match at Saudi. You don't
right.
need to include, saying that, oh well, because you feel like big men don't get the, appreciation that all of the other cruiserweight or lucha style wrestlers get. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't fucking know. I mean, Omos was really carrying the fucking match anyway, if we want to be honest. So if we're being honest, Omos was like, I thought he was gonna hit a phenomenal forearm, but I guess I was asking for too much. The match, Joseph said the match wasn't that good in my opinion. Braun versus Omos, it was a bathroom break for me. Braun is full of it, still is to this day. Tiny Rey Mysterio will always be far more than big choo choo showing. That's very true, I would have to say, but I don't know. Hopefully Ricochet definitely, come next week and show that man, that all the flippy wrestlers, I hope all the flippy wrestlers come out there and just do flips on it, all over again.
Yeah.
All the flippy wrestlers, once Braun Strowman is beat down to the ground, everybody pull out a Phoenix splash, a 450 splash, a moons. Oh, I don't care. Pull out all your flips at this point. Spanish flies, whatever. I don't care what you do. Bring all the flippiness to that man.
Yeah, and then on top of that, like, I have a little bit more to say on the subject, just a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that when with Braun Strowman feeling that bigger men don't get as much appreciation, well, it's
They've
not
always
like
said,
I mean, it's not like, in the 80s or like a long time ago when, all the bigger men it was all about the bigger men, and the smaller men were just used as just, different forms of entertainment and weren't taken as seriously. That's not the time we're living in now. And big men are cool and everything, but you have to be able to do a little bit more than just operate and use the fact that you're big as a crutch. Like, you can't just operate like that. So,
because give
yeah.
it a few more years, Mr. Braun, your knees gonna go out anyway.
Oh Lord.
So, but that's the big show. But as we continue and move on, because next week we also do have Shotzi and Raquel versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. And this will be leading up to whoever I guess wins their prospective matches will kind of, build off the momentum of where Survivor Series is going to go for. So yeah, definitely tackle next week. Of course, next week, also another semifinals. Santos Escobar will face either Butch or Sami Zayn, which we will definitely about to jump into that in a few seconds to be exact, for the World Cup. And here we are at our main event, Butch P. Dunne versus Sami Zayn. And honestly, this was I want to say the first time that these two actually wrestled each other, because I have not seen them wrestle each other at all whatsoever. This is the first time this has happened in my eyes.
Yeah, me too.
JC said, it's that water tongue. I was like, wow.
Yeah, I did kind of stick my tongue out. I'm sorry, guys. No reason. It's just out. It was just out.
I mean, listen,
I was just excited about the Santos match.
I have mine out too. I tell you what.
I'm just excited about the Santos match and who he's gonna be able to face, because I love Santos Escobar and he's my favorite to win, honestly. But honestly, that's not why my tone was up. I was just being random, guys. I'm sorry. It's late. It's late.
I would out definitely for Santos Escobar, but I'm also gonna have my tongue out for Butch because that's my heart. And well, this was a very good match, despite all the other parts of the WarGames members being out here, basically laying each other out while this match was transpiring. And well, Butch ended up winning, so he does advances and he does face Santos Escobar, which I was so ecstatic about. I would have to say, but even in the midst of after this match, Solo comes in, he attacks Pete Dunne / Butch, and it's just turned into a really, really big brawl inside the ring and outside the ring until Yafe Roman shows up. And well, he shows up and he takes out everyone. Right before Kevin Owens makes his triumphant return, which rumors were speculating that he was injured, but he seems as if like he is going to be okay to wrestle in WarGames. Now, this is Kevin Owens' his second WarGames that he will be a part of come next week. And I personally am extremely ecstatic to see what is going to transpire. But he comes in and he lays out everyone, including Roman Reigns. But this here, so if you like this photo here, you just think about NXT. You think about everything that Sami and KO have been through, whether they were working together or they were separate or going at it at each other. Eventually, somewhere down the line, we was going to lead up to having Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have an involvement somehow, some way. And now we will have them in the same match. We will. So now it seems as if like whenever Kevin Owens is around and the bloodline, like Jimmy tried to tell him to do something to Kevin, he's hesitant. It's like he won't do it. And it's just like, could Sami be the one to cause the bloodline the match come next week? Or how are they going to embed some things into Sami's head to let him know that Kevin is not your friend? Think about all the things he did to you. When you won your first NXT championship, Kevin Owens came out there and congratulated you. And then he attacked you and took your title from you. Think about all the times.
Bombed him on the apron.
He did. Think about all the times that you and Kevin have feuded against each other and everything like that. All the thing I can pretty much say is that it's going to be something. But even in the midst of this whole stare down, Roman Reigns, he gets back up and he Superman punches Kevin Owens, and Sami gets out of the ring. And then before leading up to Kevin Owens giving Roman a stunner, and basically the entire bloodline except for Sami Zayn is laid out on the ground. And the Brawling Brutes, Drew McIntyre and KO are left standing tall. And I mean, that's how we ended SmackDown, which we do know this is where it leads here. This is our main event, 5-on-5 WarGames match. This will actually main event Survivor Series WarGames. The Bloodline versus the Brawling Brutes, Drew McIntyre, and their fifth member, Kevin Owens. The way that it's going right now, I don't know what to say about the Bloodline. I mean, the Bloodline could kind of, they could pull out something if they wanted to, but will they? Who's going to start out first? I mean, of course, honestly, it feels like the captains are going to go in last anyway. They are. But we do know, which I did not add that. I thought I add that graphic in here, but they did announce that there's going to be an advantage match taking place next week. So, of course, on Monday Night Raw, we have Asuka and Rhea, who's going to be facing each other in the advantage match. Which, if you don't know, it's going to like a 2-on-1 thing starting out. So, like, whoever wins, either Rhea or Asuka wins, and either or teammate will join their first partner that's inside the ring, and vice versa. But we will have, I believe it's the Usos versus Drew and Sheamus, to be exact, for next week. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that's what I did see. But they will have their tag team version of the advantage match and not the occasional or the original ladder match that they normally have for it. So who hands is supposed to be? Maybe
Solos? Maybe, I don't know.
I cannot answer that question. I didn't make the graphic, so I don't know. But yeah, so
yeah, he's saying it's corny.
Yeah. I listen. I did not make this graphic. I don't know who it could be. I really don't. But what I do know is that this would be taking place next week, and I'm extremely excited for WarGames. I really am. So yeah. Oh, Owens has a sword coming out of his head, I guess. Oh, you talking about Will? I mean, I guess so. Blame Drew McIntyre, but here we are.
I mean, yeah, I'm really excited for WarGames because it's just going to offer something different. And these two teams, if it's one thing these two teams has proven to us over the past few weeks and over the past few months, is the fact that when all of them are all on one accord, they can beat each other's behind. And I feel like we're just going to have a fight on top of a fight on top of another fight, between these two teams, like between Team Bloodline and Team Brute. So it's going to be cool.
It is, but that pretty much brings us to the end of SmackDown. And of course, we move over to Rampage because Full Gear is in full effect.
Lord Jesus.
The Bloodline versus Newsies. All right. Now
I get that too. Newsies.
All right, Mr. JD.
Yes. But here's the thing though. I like I do like my name a little bit better though. Team Bloodline versus Team Brute. Like it's just easy to get to it, just like the women. It's just like Team EST versus Team Control. It's just yeah. All right. Like seriously, WarGames is gonna be lit. But literally, we have a pay-per-view tomorrow.
We do.
In the form of AEW's Full Gear, and tonight was Full Gear Friday. And this was a live not Dynamite, Lord, a live Rampage.
Not so many shows, okay?
We really do. Forgive me, guys. This is a live Rampage. And I was having a little bit of cable trouble, but then eventually it did clear up. So I was able to see, towards like the middle of this match between Ricky Starks and Lance Archer, which was the world title eliminator tournament match.
Well, you didn't see them in the hallway?
No, I saw them in the audience. That's what I saw.
Okay, so they started out in the backstage area, and then they moved over to the audience. Like that's literally how they opened up the show, was them throwing each other around.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you. Because when I cut it on, they were in the audience, and I was like, oh snap. But yeah, so the way I saw it, they were in the audience and they were fighting, and then I was wondering, why is Ricky Starks wearing a hockey jersey? But either way, they were fighting and everything, and Lance Archer is like this really big something, right? But at the end of it, I was just kind of like, Ricky, I'm gonna need for you to pull whatever will you have in your soul and fight back, because I want better for Ricky Starks, because he is just so talented, and I just feel like he should be world champion at some point someday. Yeah. Maybe even tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. But either way, I just really feel like he should be the champion. So it was a point where it looked like Lance Archer had the upper hand on Ricky Starks with all of his power and stuff. But then something funny that happened was the fact that Ricky Starks was even pulling on Lance Archer's hair, which is kind of questionable, seeing as he has these braids, and it's just like, why? But either way,
Mr. Kankalon is what I like to call him.
Yeah, but either way, this is a very physical matchup, and just watching Ricky start to sort of reverse all of the ways in which Lance Archer was trying to run through him, like with clotheslines and stuff, and then Ricky sort of ducking and dodging them, and then just all kinds of different moves and stuff. Like, I love Ricky Starks in this match. There was even a point where he even like reversed he went into a DDT and then somehow another reversed another move that Lance Archer was trying to do on him, and he wound up hitting the cover and then winning the match. And I was like, yes, I was so happy for him, because I'm just like, yes. And then on top of that, one of my friends, Janelle from HR from the Jobbeteers podcast, shout out to her, and her friend Danny from Pretty Heels, they actually met Ricky Starks, and she said, look, I'm gonna need for you to, qualify so you can win this title. And he said, he was going to try. So this is, for me, I feel like this is him trying. So it was really great. And he had a victory, but he wasn't really able to celebrate because he was interrupted. And attacked from the back as Brian Cage came out and tried to distract him, because he now has to fight Brian Cage tomorrow. So he came out and tried to distract him and be like, yeah, here I am, whatever. And then he came out with Prince Nana. And then Ricky attacked him from behind. Well, not Ricky didn't attack him from behind. Ricky got attacked from behind by Lance Archer. And then Lance Archer lifted him up and slammed him on the steel steps and kind of left him there as Brian Cage and Prince Nana was just laughing at him, saying, ha ha, you got messed up. But you still got to fight him tomorrow, so I don't know what the point is. But either way, Ricky Starks is moving forward in the tournament, and I'm glad, and I hope he does beat Brian Cage. Santana, how did you feel about this match, and where do you see Ricky Starks, in terms of him fighting Brian Cage tomorrow night?
Well, like I said, from the opening, I didn't know what the hell was going on. I'm like, so this is how you guys are gonna start the match back there in the back room. And then they trickled on down to the audience, and then they finally made it to the ring. And I mean, it was just a big brawl. And I mean, I'm happy that Ricky won. I feel like since him losing to Powerhouse Hobbs, which I really think he should have won that, but he didn't. But at least it put a closure and an end to their feud, so that Ricky can more so focus on, winning a title, a bigger title at that, and there's like, I saw that there was like some news or whatever saying that they may postpone his match with Brian Cage because he was injured or something. I'm very, very unsure. Yeah, I don't know. I saw that on Twitter where they were saying that Ricky might be injured after what happened, and they may have to postpone his match with Brian Cage that's supposed to be happening tomorrow. But I'm unsure. It might still happen. I don't know. But that's just what they said. And now you got Stephanie saying, look what you done, Brian Cage, Mr. Brian Cage. You just had to go out there and attack that man. You could have just let him beat you tomorrow, and we would have went on about our business. But I don't know.
I just can't have nice things.
You just can't. It doesn't last long. It doesn't. But
it just doesn't.
It doesn't. It does not. But let's just say I hope that a match still does happen, and I hope that Ricky does beat Brian Cage, because who cares about Brian Cage? Let's be honest. I thought that man got fired from AEW a long time ago anyway. But
dang.
I did. I really did. Because I haven't seen him in a minute, and I know he was doing some things on the indies, but other than that, I can write that man. Shout out to Ricky for advancing. And I hope that he's okay, and that the match still happens tomorrow, so that he can go ahead and advance and have a little break in the meantime before they pretty much go from there. Joseph said, "Will Dynamite be strengthened by having the finals of the Winner Is Coming tournament there? I had a feeling Ricky would win." Yeah, definitely, but hopefully it happens. If not, then we riot.
Yeah. And so after that, we had a promo involving Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara, even though Sammy didn't do a whole lot of talking. He just did a whole lot of posing with that face of his. And basically, Chris Jericho was talking about how he was going to retain the Ring of Honor Championship that he will be fighting for in a fatal four-way match between Sammy Guevara, his JAS buddy, Claudio Castagnoli, and Bryan Danielson. And he was saying that he was going to win and basically, he was going to beat everyone, but not realizing that he was also talking about Sammy Guevara. And Sammy was like, okay then. And and that was pretty much it. It was really funny to me because I was just like, yeah, Chris Jericho really was talking all that stuff. But then they went back to them on commentary and he was like, no, I didn't mean anything mean by it. I mean, Sammy's going to be a world champion someday, but just, not now. And I was just like, dang, Chris Jericho. Dang.
Now, if Sammy wins tomorrow, Chris, we're gonna have to have a conversation, honestly. Because I mean, you put him in this match because you wanted to even out the odds of the fact that Bryan Danielson and Claudio is going to be in this match together, and then you decide you want to put Sammy in there, not realizing that you're kind of giving Sammy a title shot opportunity when he could have been out there kind of assisting you from because you feel like Bryan Danielson and Claudio are going to have issues, but your issue is standing right next to you.
Mm-hmm. Don't underestimate him. You see how folks do their friends. Mm-hmm. Folks be on the Masked Singer one time, just think they could just do their friends however they want to do them.
That's sad.
And we could tell it was you, but it's okay. It's like we know your voice, but it's probably a lot of people who watch the Masked Singer who didn't know his voice. So I mean, I get that part. But if you're in the wrestling fandom. And if you've ever listened to Fozzy, you know his voice. So
that's Judas in my mind.
Exactly. I'm not sure if they would have let him sing that though.
Ciao.
I don't know. But either way, congratulations to Chris Jericho for making it that far in the Masked Singer. Mm-hmm. We don't know how far he's gonna make it tomorrow on Full Gear, but we're gonna wish him the best of luck in that. Mm-hmm. So, moving forward, we had an FTW championship match between Hook and the Firm's Lee Moriarty, who came out there with Stokely Hathaway. And this match was pretty good, at the beginning of it, Lee Moriarty was, they did kind of have each other's number, but then you also had Hook, who hits a lot of his different suplexes, and he's able to grapple and move out of a number of different holds as well. So that was really good. And they had a little bit of a standoff, and they had a little bit of an ovation from the crowd, which I thought was really cool. But even though they worked really fast, it was like a whole lot of strikes and throws going on. And then of course you had Hook, who he gonna hit you with a bunch of submissions. That is one thing that Hook is gonna do. He's gonna hit you with a bunch of submissions and a bunch of suplexes as well. And he did that. All the submissions, all of the suplexes. And it was so funny that it was so bad that Stokely even tried to interfere and try to take Hook off of his game, but Hook was not, having it. He was just like, look, bro, like I will punch you. But then Lee Moriarty took advantage and tried to kick him in the face to a near fall. But then after that point, there was an opening that Lee Moriarty had in which Hook took advantage of it and locked him in his sleeper hold in order to make Lee tap out. So Hook is still the FTW champion.
Yeah.
So San, how did you feel about this match?
I was glad that it was a little bit longer because we know that whenever Hook, have a match or something, whether before he was holding this title and even now, some of his matches have been very short, maybe 2-3 minutes. I was happy, and a lot of his competitors weren't like actual, like real competitors that could actually give it a go. And someone like Lee Moriarty, I think Lee can wrestle his ass off. He is extremely talented.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they were like, you kind of like equally matched. It wasn't like one had, the upper hand over the other. They were like equally matched. That I honestly would love to see an actual feud between these two. You know what I'm saying? I wish there's something that we would get a little bit longer of instead of like, okay, we have a match here for the title and then you lose, and then it's like, well, let me go find who my next opponent is going to be. But I am glad this match was a little bit longer than usual hook matches, and it wasn't easy to take out Mr. Lee. It wasn't at all whatsoever, and I'm growing to like Lee Moriarty, especially his wrestling ability and things like that. So I don't know. I would love to see him running back again, one more time at least, and let some type of build up play out. But shout out to Hook for retaining his title and everything, and shout out for Lee for being someone who's equally matched with this man. It doesn't look like I feel like we are getting just random people that don't even make sense. So
Yeah, this match was really good. Joseph saying, I was glad that they got a picture-in-picture treatment. Hook needed to be tested to go longer than 25 seconds. Yeah, and he did. They really did go past 25 seconds, and it was really good. So he's working his way up with this endurance. So shout out to both of them for that. So backstage after that match, we got a little bit of a promo with Tony Schiavone and Roosh and the Dark Orders, John Silver and is that 10 or that's not? Is it 10?
I think that's number E. I don't know. I can't tell you. To be honest, they got all these numbers around here.
Yeah, and I don't want to say the wrong number. Well, I know it's not -1, but I really feel like it could be 10.
It might be number 10.
Yeah. So basically, they showed the clip from last week of John Silver sort of interfering in the Bandito Roosh match, which caused Roosh to lose. And Roosh didn't take too kindly to it, but his partner, I can't remember his manager's name. Roosh's manager that's standing next to him. I can't remember his name right now. But he was basically saying that John Silver takes everything as a joke and all you are is just, the goofball and you need to be more serious or whatever. So Roosh basically challenged him to a match next week and said, look, I'm going to wipe that smile clean off your face. And he insulted him in Spanish. And yeah, that's where my understanding just kind of leaves because there's only so much Spanish I know. But I'm more than sure that he insulted him and called him all kinds of names. So they're fighting each other. And then it seemed like there was a little bit of misunderstanding with John Silver and number 10, and number 10 just walked away. And it low-key looked like there might be some dissension there between him and John Silver, but I don't know. Maybe they're planting those seeds. And also, I never get tired of seeing a Brody Lee t-shirt. Never.
Never.
Never at all. So that's pretty much how that ended. I just still wonder what Roosh said. Like, seriously.
Something that's not meant for TV. I will say that.
I'm sure.
It's not meant for TV, but yeah, a lot of face-to-face.
Yeah, and he did say that he did fight him before, and that he was like, "Look, I beat you once, now I'll beat you once again." Now that part I did get. But the rest of it, no.
That is already.
Yes. But after that, we had a women's match between Athena, the fallen goddess, who's just always gorgeous, versus Madison Rayne, the coach. So they showed a little bit of a promo that Madison Rayne had after they showed replays of Athena on Dark Elevation, sort of destroying all the people that she's been fighting as of late over the past couple of weeks. And Madison Rayne said, look, that's not right and that's not fair. And I don't like how you're treating all of these women, in a very disrespectful manner. So she said she was going to teach her a lesson. But before they finished showing the rest of that promo, they cut it off at a weird point because while Madison Rayne was making her entrance into the ring, Athena grabbed her up off the rope and just started beating on her. Sure. And I was just like, dang, you hate to see it because Athena, like, she really isn't playing any games anymore.
She's not.
Like, anymore. And I love it. Like, she's really just beating people up now. And even in a couple of points, it looked like where Madison tried to, bounce back, it was just like Athena just had her number every time. There was even a point where Athena actually threw Madison Rayne into, like, the barricade. And I was just like, this is so sad. This is really sad. And it was a couple of moves that I had seen from Athena that I had never really seen before, because the first time I had seen her was in NXT, so I never really saw a lot of what she did in the independents. But Athena really, was going off in this match and hitting a number of moves. She even hit a stunner that I had never really seen her hit before, that was like on the mat as opposed to jumping off of the rope with the Eclipse. So that was really good. Athena wound up winning the match. But after she won the match, she proceeded to beat up on Madison Rayne a whole lot more, because that's another thing she's been doing. But guess who came to rescue Madison Rayne and to teach Athena a lesson? Our Ring of Honor Women's Champion, Mercedes Martinez, the OG badass and friend of Women's Wrestling Talk. She came to teach Athena a lesson, and she was like, look, you want to beat up on people? Come on, beat me up. Beat me up. But guess who backed out and walked away? Athena. She was acting like she didn't want that action. But you was acting like you wanted that action, like when you was beating up on defenseless Madison Rayne. It's not fun, is it? But yeah, that's pretty much what happened there, and I really am excited about this match, the possibility of this. But San, how do you feel about it?
I mean, poor Aubrey.
That's true. I hated that.
Listen. I know I joke a lot about how Aubrey likes to be in the matches, the way she refs, and everything. But yeah, Athena was like, knocked her down, continued to attack Madison Rayne, which is extremely crazy. But I was so happy to see Mercedes Martinez back. Like, I knew that she was cleared, to wrestle according to the media call and everything like that. And I'm so happy to see her back. I'm such a fan of Mercedes Martinez. I think she is absolutely amazing inside the ring. And I mean, her presence, her dominance, just like, it's there, it's breathtaking. And I mean, I would not mind seeing this match between Athena and Mercedes Martinez. Like, if this is something that they decide to have, like, go to Final Battle for Ring of Honor's pay-per-view, because Mercedes is still holding the title, I would not be mad at it. Like, start this feud now and let it continue to build up until December the 10th, when you have Final Battle in Texas for Ring of Honor. This will be really good. I mean, you have babyface Martinez. She looks really good. You got heel Athena, who's like beating the hell out of everybody, showing no remorse, like really just out here doing her thing. And I thought maybe at one point, to me, I feel like Athena would have probably kind of got lost in the shuffle after her match with Jade, because I mean, when she hit that Eclipse on Jade, I thought that was it. I thought that was it. But it wasn't, and I was like, man, because Athena she's a really great wrestler. She really is. I feel like this heel work is starting to work for her. If she just go out there and show that she can beat the hell out of anybody, it really just does work for me. So I mean, I'm happy to see Mercedes back. I don't know what's going to happen next between these two, but hopefully it goes to Ring of Honor's Final Battle. Whatever, but shout out to Mercedes Martinez. Girl, you back. Miss OG Badass, who just had a birthday. Happy belated birthday. Everything. Woo! So shout out to you, girl.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned the fact that she did attack Aubrey. I just, every time Aubrey gets attacked, or anytime one of the wrestlers get in Aubrey's face, I just think about what she told me in our interview on the Hardy Wrestling podcast. It's like she literally said that she loves getting into, getting moments where her and wrestlers kind of get physical with each other and get in each other's faces. Like she loves it when she can do stuff like that. Because I remember the first time MJF got in her face, I got pissed off. I was like, first of all, bruh, boy, no. And she was just like, hey, that's okay. That's what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to feel that way. And I was just like, Aubrey, no. But I love Aubrey. She's sweet. I'm glad I got to meet her this year and stuff like that. But her getting bullied like that and pushed by Athena, I was like, so no, don't just take that. I low-key want to see a match between her and Athena. Can Aubrey take on Athena? Maybe, maybe not. Huge, maybe not. A little, maybe not. But either way, it would be cute.
Girl, it's gonna be like Hugh Hefner versus Earl Hebner versus Triple H or some shit, like back in the attitude era range and stuff like that. Because you push Mr. Earl Hebner, he ain't playing. He gonna push your ass back. Okay,
Exactly.
that's what. Well, then he gonna get knocked down. Then he gonna ain't gonna get back up. But he gonna give you a little pushback. He is. But at Triple H, he gave him a lot of pushbacks. Okay, I loved him and Triple H interaction because it was just so funny because he's so little and Triple H is so much bigger than him. It's just like he was not playing. Okay, he was like, I'm the rep. Okay, don't know me. And maybe somewhere down the line, Aubrey will be the rep for Athena and Mercedes Martinez match if that happens. We're fine about.
Yeah, if that happens. But either way, we love Aubrey. She's great. And I'm just really excited for where Athena and Mercedes Martinez really might be. Like, I'm really excited for the possibility of that feud. So, in the main event, once they went through all of no, not in the main event. There was another segment that they had between the Best Friends and the Factory. The Factory had QT Marshall had all of their crew out there and everything, and backstage with Renee Paquette and Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends were backstage, and they basically challenged them to a match tomorrow night. And QT Marshall was like, yo, like, we're outnumbering you guys. It's only 3 of y'all. But then he was just like, okay, no, we have another partner. And then he brought in one other person, who is a person that I'm not particularly familiar with. But then they also said, okay, we have another person, but then they gave him a videotape. And then they played the videotape, and as it turns out, it looked like it was the silhouette of one Danhausen with teeth dripping on a wooden floor or a wooden counter, which was really creepy. So this match has been made official for tomorrow, but at the same time, it looks as if they're not, they're alluding to the fact that it could be a very evil, very, a very bad, mystery team partner, but we kind of know it's Danhausen. But either way, they have a match tomorrow night, so that's going to be interesting. But moving towards the main event, we had a main event between Eddie Kingston and Ortiz versus Jun Akiyama and Konosuke Takeshita. Now, forgive me if I butchered those names, but I'm really doing the best I can. San, can you tell me how you felt about this match? Because I wasn't able to see all of it because I was occupied with another chore. But could you give the rundown on what happened in this match?
I can tell you right now, whenever Eddie Kingston's on my screen, I tune everything out. Why? Because I do not like that man. Yeah.
Yes, I know. I know.
So, but it was a pretty interesting match. It was nice. It was cool. Although Eddie Kingston and Ortiz did win the match, Eddie said some things after the match, but after that, I went to get ready to come to this post show. I'm not even gonna lie to you. So whatever he said after the fact, it doesn't even matter to me because anytime Eddie Kingston speaks, I don't think I understand what he'd be saying to me anyway. But nonetheless, this was a really nice way to close out, Full Gear Friday, getting you guys geared up for Full Gear taking place tomorrow. So, I mean, like, I want that man to go home. He had an opportunity to go home, and y'all brought this man back. Y'all hate me. Y'all do. I
don't think it's anything personal, Sam.
I feel like it's all personal. That man had an opportunity to go home, and y'all persuaded him to come back.
No.
And now I gotta sit here and look at him.
Look, Eddie, he has to follow his dreams, okay?
He should be like that Campbell suit that used to follow them people home and go home. That's what he should do. Go home. Lord. Pack your bags and go. Take your gym bag with your Timbs and your jacket and go to hell home. I tell you what.
Let him live.
Listen, he is the curtain jerker tomorrow. After Rampage signed out, Eddie demanded from TK a match with the guy who's in the match tomorrow, and he got his own 13 matches tomorrow. I'm used to I'm very used to AEW giving long, like putting a lot of matches on the match card, but also them not being that long either. We already know which matches are going to be a little longer, and we know what matches are going to be like pretty short and to the point. But yeah, if you guys want to know what the full match card is, you definitely can check out Women's Wrestling Talk. There will be the full match card, which I need to go and add the rest of those on there. We'll be dropping tomorrow at 12 p.m. to be exact. So you can definitely go check out all the match cards. Not at Rampage, but AEW's Full Gear at 12 p.m. tomorrow or today. For those who are on the East Coast. Child, that's our main event. So shout out to Eddie Kingston and Mr. Ortiz. That's all I can say.
Well, Stan, I will ask you though, when it comes to predictions, what are your predictions for the women's matches? Since this is Women's Wrestling Talk, and we have 3 women's matches on the card for Full Gear tomorrow. So, what are your predictions for Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, versus Saraya, who is wrestling her first match in over 5 or 6 years?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Saraya. I don't think that if they was to let Britt go over Saraya, that would be hilarious to me. It really would. Only because Saraya, she's got to get back into her groove of wrestling after not wrestling for 5 years. You know, I don't know if she's still going to have that same in-ring ability that she had once before she was injured and before she started wrestling for 5 years. I don't know what her training process has been like or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be very interested in seeing this match because of the fact of it's Saraya and she's going against Britt, and this is a match that has no title. Right. No title is involved. This is like personal things going on between these girls. And I mean, I'm excited to see it, but I do think Saraya is going to win. The thing is that my main point is how is Saraya going to look in this match? That's my thing. So
that's what I'm concerned about too, is how she's going to look, number one, and number two is she's just going to be safe, because I just don't want anything bad to happen to her no more.
Not at all.
She doesn't, she doesn't deserve for any other, misfortune to happen to her attached to wrestling. And I just wish the best for her in all things. And I just don't want anything bad to happen to her. So I just want her to be safe, and to have as much fun as she possibly can, because this is her moment in the sun and she definitely deserves that. So I am predicting that Saraya is going to win, and I'm just hoping that she will be safe, because that's really ultimately all I care about, in terms of her emotional and mental health as a human being. Yeah, I just hope that she wins. Now, how do you feel about Jamie Hayter versus Toni Storm for the interim AEW Women's title?
That match is going to be quite interesting to see if they want to pull the plug on Toni being champion as of right now and move it over to Jamie Hayter. I mean, this whole feud has a lot of story behind it, knowing that these two were friends, roommates. They wrestled in Stardom together. They wrestled each other in Progress. They wrestled in, I think it was Pro Wrestling Eve. Like they've wrestled and they traveled the world a lot of places together, and to know that this feud is coming to life between these two on tomorrow, for this title to be exact. Nonetheless, the in-ring ability that these ladies are about to give is going to be amazing to watch. And no matter what the outcome is, I'm going to be satisfied, because I feel like Jamie does deserve to have this opportunity for herself. But if Toni retains, I'm happy. If Jamie wins, I'm happy. I'm just ready to see. I'm just ready to see what the outcome is going to be, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. It's kind of hard to make a prediction because it's just like for me, it's not because of the talent involved, but because it's the interim title.
Yeah.
And it's just like whoever's holding the interim title, it just feels like they're on borrowed time until the actual champion comes back and wants her title back. Then that's Thunder Rosa.
And that's
And
not
it's just
until next
like,
year anyway. So
huh?
that's not until next year. Like Donna Rose said, already made it clear she's not wrestling until 2023. So, and I know Tony had, she did an interview talking about, well, I mean, if Thunder is saying that she's not going to wrestle again until 2023, then she needs to be stripped of the title. You know what I'm saying? Which
Yeah.
I kind of do agree, because if you're going to be champion and if you're okay to wrestle or whatever, you need to come on out here and defend this title so that we can make it one and let this interim BS go.
Yeah,
So,
and that also needs to be made clear for all the titles,
very
because it's just like the interim. The idea of the interim just seems like it's like a placeholder, and it's just like these superstars deserve more than just a placeholder thing. Like if you're not able to compete, then I mean, I'm sorry because it is sad that you'll have to give it up due to whatever situation that you're in, but that's just the rules of the road. You just have to
right.
do it, but no shade to Thunder Rosa though.
If y'all can vacate the world title and have a whole freaking tournament over it, then y'all should have did this for the women as well.
Right.
So
But that was vacated due to some mess. So we're not finna get into that.
that's true.
But
I still think it should play a part as well. So
yes. So lastly, the last women's match on the Full Gear card is the actual TBS champion Jade Cargill, who I found out today did an interview with the Breakfast Club. Had no clue until it was on YouTube. I was like, what? Versus the self-proclaimed TBS champion Nyla Rose, who's been giving her all kinds of hell. Who do you think is gonna win?
I don't give a damn who wins this match. I'm honest, because I don't think people understand. I have been wanting Nyla and Jade since like earlier this year. Like I've been wanting that.
Yeah.
I've been every time I was like, man, I'm ready to see Nyla and Jade, Nyla and Jade, Nyla and Jade. I know that they did have
you
their
manifested
thing,
this.
with Thunder Rosa, but they could have left her ass out of there. But I've been waiting for Nala and Jade. I really have. And my only thing is that I really hope that even though there's a lot of story behind it, the match does not make me feel disappointed. I really hope not. Like, I hope that this match is, I wouldn't say lengthy, but long enough to show that Jade is not going to squash Nyla Rose. That's my thing. Because a lot of Jade's title defenses, it seems as if like the match should be like 5 minutes, maybe 4, maybe 3. I feel like this match should be at least 7 to 8 minutes would be a good match for me wise. I just want some length to happen. I don't know. I just really want this match to be really good. I really do. And because it's something I've been anticipating. And so it's like I have really high hopes for it, but I also don't want to be disappointed either in how the match comes. I don't listen, whatever the outcome is, it is what it is. But it's more so just about the match itself. This build-up you guys had about Nyla stealing the title, taking it away and stuff, and creating a whole another separate title for Jade to carry around while Nyla is holding the real title, and Nyla having championship matches with this title on Dark. Like, I don't know. Like, I would want Nyla to win. I would. But if Jade continues to hold on to this title, I don't know exactly, like, what is going to happen in the near future for this TBS title, because Jade will be coming up on a year in February.
Jesus.
She'll be coming up on a year in February holding this TBS title. She has not been defeated. She's not lost or anything like that. And so now it's like streaking title versus Nyla Rose. So whatever happens, it happens. I would like for Nyla to win. That would be my prediction, that Nyla will win. But whatever happens, I'm just gonna sit quietly and be like, oh my God. Don't disappoint me in this match, because I've been rooting for you guys for a while now, and I don't want to be like, damn, Santana, you got us out here waiting for this whole Nyla and Jay match to happen, and then they give us this crap, and it's like, okay, don't listen. That's not what I asked for. Okay, I just wanted them to have some type of feud going on, and well, they are. So here we are. So.
Yeah, shout out to you, because you really have been manifesting it for like months, and the fact that it's actually happening is just really great. Like, I'm glad that it's really happening, even though it was very goofy.
And I
it was a very goofy
though.
thing, but either way, at least it's happening, and at least you're getting the end result of it tomorrow. Now, I'm predicting that somehow by hook or by crook, that Jade will win and retain. But if Nyla were to win it, I wouldn't be necessarily angry about it either, because she's had the upper hand and the advantage, up until like maybe last week when Jade actually beat her up and actually caught her and beat her up, because the baddies haven't been doing it. They've been running after her and they've been outrunning them. And I'm just like, bro, like, what the heck? But honestly, I feel like Jade is going to retain, but at the same time, it's kind of hard, because who else is she going to fight after this is the question. Who could very well do it or fight her or take the title off her? It's hard because she's fought everybody, but yeah, we just gotta wait and see.
Well, she hasn't fought everybody. She hasn't fought, like Britt or she hasn't fought, Jamie. She hasn't really fought any of like the heel girls, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
she fought a lot of the baby faces, things like that. But I don't know.
It just feels like she's fought everybody.
Bring Taya Valkyrie.
That's just kind of what it feels like.
Taya Valkyrie take that title. Bring Taya Valkyrie. Taya Valkyrie take that title. Add it to
Bring Deanna. No, not Deanna. She's on honeymoon. So
she is. She is. But no, technically she has her eyes set back on Mickie James. I will say that, because she popped up on Mickie James match. After Mickie James had her match with Taylor Wilde, Deanna pop back up on her. But we won't get into it, because we're going to say that for the Impact post show with me and Nikki. If you guys want to know anything more about Overdrive and things like that, because it got real spicy tonight, definitely come Thursday, because we definitely going to talk about it. Because if they want to go to Hard to Kill, please do, because me and Nikki will be there in full effect. For Hard to Kill. I think me could be there too, but we're gonna be there in full effect for Hard to Kill if it transpires. So praise and worship.
All right. But yeah, that's basically where we've ended Rampage. And of course, Full Gear is tomorrow on all of the apps in which you can watch Full Gear on. So if you're going to watch it, watch it and catch it. And definitely we'll be covering it, whether it be by after show or by article or by anything else. We will be covering the action from Full Gear on tomorrow.
We will.
So yeah, that's the end.
Will. Yeah, so definitely make sure you guys follow the website. Yeah, save the recap for Thursday. I agree. Something happened with the X Division Championship. 2 words. Holy crap. Oh, definitely. It's a lot of holistic things happening in the X Division side of things. But definitely want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with us on your Friday, going into Saturday morning ish and everything like that. We always enjoy you guys hanging out with us to talk about SmackDown, talk about Rampage. 2 shows in one. I mean, hey, 2 different brands. It's like we're cross-branding, actually. 2 brands that 2 companies don't get along with each other publicly. But secretly, they all be hanging out at the golf court. I'll tell you that much. But definitely check out the website as well. We have articles going out each and every day. Make sure you guys follow our social media accounts as well at WWE Talk Pod. The website is at www.talkpod.com. Check out all of our recap shows, all of our other shows we do have here on Women's Wrestling Talk. We just dropped a interview with Masha Slimovich on yesterday. Definitely check that out. And earlier this week, we did have a interview with Billy Starks. Definitely check that out as well. And we got a couple of other more interviews coming out. Make sure you turn on those post notifications on YouTube to be exact, and subscribe and like and share and comment and different things like that. Continue to support us because I mean, in 2023, you guys, we are 1 month away from closing out 2022, and it's about to happen in about 2 weeks from now. So in 2023, Women's Wrestling Talk is going to be on some very, very interesting and bigger things. Like it's going to be a whole new ball game. And if you're not really tuned into what Women's Wrestling Talk has going on, then I don't really know what to tell you because it means you're gonna be left behind, and we ain't got time to come pick you up. Because once we in the car, that's it. Ain't no looking back. Okay, we're leaving out of 2022 and heading to 2023 with a bigger mindset, bigger goal, bigger everything. Big 23 in energy over here. But Stephanie, let everyone know where they can keep up with you at and everything like that before we get on out of here.
All right. Well, know that you can follow me, your girl Stephanie Hardy, on Instagram and Twitter at Queen Steph Hardy, as it appears on the screen. The newest episode of the Hardy Wrestling Podcast, season 5, has started. And of course, I've been doing a rebrand of the show. So from now on, I will be doing episodes on video and on audio. So you can see more of my face along with my brand. And I was able to talk to fellow WWT host and writer, and creator of In Cat We Trust, Katrina Blake, on this first episode. We got to talk about a lot of things, how she got started in wrestling. And we also got to talk about the Behind the Magic Women of Color in Wrestling panel that has been making the rounds. And in 2 weeks, we will be at Los Angeles Comic-Con with that same panel, but just a different iteration with a couple of different faces, including our CEO, TK Trinidad, myself, her, Rain Cruz, who is the winner of the 2021 SummerSlam ring announcer contest and ring announcer in other promotions, and Sarah the Rebel / oh my gosh, I'm blanking on her name in WoW, but oh my gosh. But she's also a women's wrestler in WoW Superheroes as well. So they'll all be on the panel as well. So it's going to be really great. Come visit us on Sunday, December the 4th, in room 406A at Los Angeles Comic-Con. We're going on the road with this thing, and it's great, and it's a blessing, and I'm so happy and humbled to be a part of it. So in the midst of that, all of that is happening. So just be on the lookout with that and just continue to support Women's Wrestling Talk, because we up in here and we doing big things.
Yeah. Fun fact, Sarah was a host for Women's Wrestling Talk too.
Yes.
He was.
He was.
He was. As for me,
recruited Katrina.
She was. Mm-hmm. As for me, you guys can always Google me, Driune Santana, Driune. That's where you're gonna always find me. You can always find me on Monday Night Raw and Impact with my tag partner Nikki Bougie. You can always find us there. And then on Fridays, you can always find me here with Stephanie for SmackDown and Rampage, or sometimes on any other panels, because sometimes me and Stephanie manage to be on some of the panels together for Women's Wrestling Talk. Somehow, some way, it never fails. We always end up being on a panel together, along with a lot of our other hosts here or other special guests we have here as well. But we want to thank you guys once again for hanging out with us here on Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet, the only women's wrestling show on the planet. And we'll see you guys next week for the day after Thanksgiving. We'll see that.
Black Friday.
Black Friday. So get your shopping on. If you want to give me something, please let me know. I can send you a list of things for Black Friday. Just saying.
Me too. Buy me a gift.
Please. Bye, guys.
Women's
Bye.
Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Women's Wrestling Talk, the number one women's wrestling show on the planet.